Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to tell about philosophical foundation of education, which is in semester 1 of B.Ed education in AP, related to Andhra University and Acharya Nagarjuna University, some other universities in Andhra Pradesh. So coming to the unit 1, introduction to philosophy and education. Here you are going to learn about introduction to philosophy and introduction to education, and the relation between the philosophy and education, the types of education. You'll learn all these in this unit. So coming to the first topic, concept and scope of philosophy. Actually, what do you mean by philosophy? If philosophy is related to the study of general and fundamental problems such as related to the reasons such as reality, existence, values, which are those these combination of problems are studies by the philosophy. So actually the philosophy is derived from the Greek word. The phileo means love and love, and sophia means wisdom. So philosophy means phileo and sophia. These are two terms which are derived from the Greek word. So philosophy means the love of wisdom. It is the practice of making and assessing the arguments. So definition of philosophy given by the Socrates is philosophy, which is nothing but daily activities of a human kind. So whatever we are doing, whatever we are thinking, whatever we are processing for our daily lives, it's called as a philosophy. So what is the nature of philosophy? Philosophy is an act of our thought. It finds the deeper meaning of problems. Philosophy is a critical and comprehensive thoughts, and it resolves the confusing of state of mind. And philosophy is search of reality and also finding the truth. It gives the directions to the life. It closely related to the education. It's an art and science. It explains the problems of philosophical problems and attitude and activities. So these are all the nature of the philosophy. Now coming to the scope. So now scope of philosophy is too vast. It has actually scope means what are the problems under the philosophy. So last point we have learned here that it explains the problems of philosophy problem, right? So that philosophical problems has been explained under the scope. So scope under in that scope, metaphysical problems, epistemological problem, axiological problems, these are related to the scope under philosophy. So metaphysical problems are nothing but this is also a branch of philosophy. Actually, it studies under the theory of reality and finding the truths. It metaphysics means which is only studies on the truth and finding the realities. Who is God, who is what is the self mind and body, what is the relation between self mind and body, what are those the problems which are in the world. For example, what is the living body, what is the difference between body and soul. So what I have explained previously, the examples are what is living body, what is the difference between the body and soul. These are question type forms are coming to the metaphysical problem. So coming to the epistemologic problem, it's another branch of philosophy. So it is the theory of knowledge and studies of comprehension. So it is related to the knowledge related to the studies and comprehension. Testimony, inference, questions concerning like a what is truth, what is false. These are questions under the epistemology. Axiology, it's another branch of theory. It's only related to the values. It studies of values and value adjustments. It's a kind of values such as the logical and ethical and aesthetic values. So what is the logic? Logical means what is the truth and what is the false. Ethical problems, what is the good and what is the bad. What is the aesthetic? Aesthetic related to the beauty and uh, the nature of the body and etc. So what is the beauty, what is the ugly, these are related to the aesthetic problems. So now you have understood the philosophy. Now coming to the concept and scope of education. What is the education? Education is a child is now born so for example, if a child born in a home, so that child is started learning from early when he born. He started feeding, he started how to suck uh, suck the milk from the mother. He learns that. So from the entire, from the birth to death, he it is the process of learning. The education is a process of learning from the birth to death. So it's a continuous process. There is no limit of the education, there is no stop of education, so there is no point of end. So when the boy is lived from the born birth to death, there is a systematic process of education, that is lifelong process, which consists of planned and methodical modification of the natural development of the human. It can be formal or informal or non-formal, anything, but it is a continuous process. Education is. So actually, the education derived from the Latin words which means educatum, and it to train. Educare means to bring up. So there is a difference between educatum and educare. To train and to bring up, right? Up. So education is bringing out of the ideas of universal validity which latent in the mind of every man, which is driven by Socrates. Now we need to understand about education is comprehensive concept where it comprehends of the knowledge. So education is a comprehensive that comprehends is knowledge which is lies in the articles, books, textbooks, and some other newspapers and etc. So it is derived as a general education. What is it mean by general education? The general qualities in the human being, the general qualities of the human being that capable of adjusting the nature. The specific education, coming to the specific education, some people are given by the specific trained for a particular period of time. So for that means the welfare of the people, welfare of the society, that should be training is relatable, right? So welfare of our nations. The philosophical education means the way of teaching, the method of teaching, the role of teacher when explaining or teaching the lessons to that student, the curriculum, what are the subjects they are introducing through the education, what are the nature of the education. These are coming under the philosophical of education. What is the psychological of education? Psychological, it means teachers should be acquire the knowledge with a specific skills and competence. So nowadays there is many much more competence now in present days. So they are capable of the teacher should capable of to train the students in that competence level. So and next, coming to the sociology education, students related to the education and society, which deals with the aims and methods of teaching, economics, culture of education. Sociology education means the society educations. Economical education means it helps the teachers to understand the demand of education, how much demand nowadays. There is much 100% of demand in the society, and that for that demand the supply is equating for the demand, no, right? So supply of the supply of the education should be also equal to the demand of education, and also the scarcity, there should no scarcity in the society related to the education. So coming to the functions of education, so education has provided the answers to the general problems as well as the educational problems. It prepares the young generation for the future life, right? So how, what, in which way the education is helping to the society? So towards the individual, the personality development, value adjustment, all round development, it will module the person, individual in the society. So towards the society, how education is helping? That means social changes, social control, develop social and moral values. Right? So towards the nation, civics and social responsibility. So to the third topic, types of education. So there are many types of education, which is actually the education is fundamental, right? It's fundamental, right? So whatever the some particular rules, some particular place that students were they will educate it. So that is called as a formal education. Formal education means it's a predetermined aims. So that particular organization has some aims that has to follow some rules and regulations. So education is organized by the government, or it can be a private individual. Here there will be a period of certain age. So from class 1 to class 5th particular age and etc. So coming to the informal education, so it is a non-predetermined aims. It takes place between the society and home. It's a lifelong learning process. So it's informal education is from the birth to death. It's a lifelong process, continuous process. There is no particular aims and uh, no particular that age and everything. So it's a continuous process. So coming to the third point, direct education takes place between face to face. So it has some determined predetermined goals and aims. What are the takes place between place to place or face to face education. So indirect education is it's not a predetermined goals and aims. It has no fixed duration also. It is also in the type of informal education. So coming to the general education, it's a general qualities. The previously we have learned this general education and specific education. These are also types of education. So coming to the collective education, a group education, that means collectively provide education to children, like a particular topic, particular for the particular concept of education. The collective people will be learn like groups and teachers or collective collaborative teams and etc. So individual education is specifically if a child is interested in particular subject, that child is specifically individually learn that subject, so it is learned. Tell that individual education. So these are eight are types of education. So coming to the relation between philosophy and education, what do you know about the philosophy? We have previously learned. What do you know about the education? That is also we learn. So what is the relation individually learn? But here the relation between the what is the relation between education and what is the relationship between philosophy and education. So philosophy and the education is both are imparting the knowledge of the truth and reality, the general to the general. So it's integrally and interdependently related to each other. So it is related to each other. So philosophy, according to the Ross, define that philosophy and education both are two sides of same coin. That means these two are two sides of same coin. So these two are interdependently related to each other. So philosophy is the dynamic side of education. John Adam defined this. So philosophy, now coming to the first point, philosophy is determine the real destination towards the education, where it has to go. So Spencer has defined that true education is practiced only by the true philosophy. So philosophy sets the some goals and some achievements of the education. That means what the students need to achieve, what the students needs to what they set the goals according to their needs and achievements. So coming to the philosophy, determine that the various aspects of education, like so philosophy education two sides of coins, we have previously learned this, present this. So different views of same thing, and that is implied by the another, it influencing the all type of education from beginning of learning to the end of the learning. Great philosophers have been a great educationalist. That means all great philosophers has a great knowledge of philosophy. That means they will practice for the people and they train the people to follow that development themselves. So now the philosophy is dependent on education due to the from this point we'll learn that how the philosophy is depend how the education is dependent on philosophy. Now that philosophy is dependent on education, so these 2 points will be explained. So it is obviously the philosophy provides the purpose to aim, and education makes it practical. So it's a dynamic side of philosophy that it purpose to the aim, and it's a practical. Education is practical, philosophy is theoretical. right? Education is a means to be achieve the goal. Education has no time to make the holiday till all the philosophical questions are once for all cleared up. So it is defined by the Herbert. So philosophy determines that aims of education, curriculum, and also methods of teaching, nature of the textbook, and also evaluation, etc. So coming to the aims of education, if the particularly a child is shaped through the education, correct education, then there will be much more developments of the individual, like intellectual development, personal development, social development, moral, cultural, physical, creative, vocational development. There are many development under the education, aims of education. So these are all unit 1. So actually, by overview, the conclude of these are, the philosophy is means theoretical. The philosophy is theoretical, where the education is practical. Where whatever the theories of physics, philosophy is derived, that are practiced through the education. So if you have any doubt in this, please comment in the comment box. And next video I will explain the unit 2 video, understand, and I can explain your doubts in the next videos. Thank you, and subscribe for more videos like this. All the semesters I will post here. Thank you.